Уходите!
A massive fire broke out at the Russian Onega shipbuilding and ship repair plant due to an explosion. Russian media reported on this. According to preliminary information, on the morning of April 3rd, a gas cylinder exploded in the production workshop of the shipbuilding factory in Petrozavodsk, causing a fire that spread over an area of 1,500 square meters. Emergency services reported that one injured person was carried out from the burning building, having suffered burns to the upper respiratory tract and poisoning from the combustion products. 3 other people were evacuated and taken to medical facilities. As of 12:08 p.m., the fire was extinguished. The Onega shipbuilding and ship repair plant specializes in the production of barges, industrial vessels, passenger ships, tugboats, and other specialized ships and boats. In recent years, the factory has produced, among other things, dredgers for creating shipping channels and Arctic-class tugboats. In 2023, the shipyard laid down the first icebreaker of Project 22740M, designed for operation in the Baltic, White, Azov, and Caspian Seas, as well as inland waterways. According to the project, the 80-meter vessel with a diesel power unit will be able to navigate at low speeds in waters with a continuous layer of ice up to 1 meter thick. This will allow it to create a path for ships in challenging ice conditions. Meanwhile, the main shipyard producing icebreakers for the Russian fleet remains the Baltic shipyard located in St. Petersburg. It is there that Russian specialized vessels with nuclear power plants are being constructed. A Russian assault group of a dozen armored vehicles launched a suicidal offensive in a marching column and was completely defeated by drones and artillery. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine released footage of the destruction of enemy equipment. The Russian military set out to storm Ukrainian positions in the village of Andriivka, involving 2 infantry platoons and 12 infantry fighting vehicles and tanks. However, due to marching in a column with tight formations, they suffered heavy losses from artillery and drone fire. Presumably, the invaders did not have enough vehicles with minesweepers and could not move through the mined fields, so they moved as a group along one asphalt road. The explosion of the main vehicle and the damage to several others led to the blocking of the others. Instead, the infantry, which was rushing alongside the vehicles, suffered heavy losses from artillery and cluster munitions. Confirmed manpower losses of the Russian invaders amounted to 18 killed and 7 wounded. All armored vehicles, namely 12 armored vehicles and tanks, were damaged, 7 of them completely destroyed. Presumably, the invaders did not have enough vehicles with minesweepers and could not move through the mined fields, so they moved as a group along one asphalt road. The explosion of the main vehicle and the damage to several others led to the blocking of the others. Instead, the infantry, which was rushing alongside the vehicles, suffered heavy losses from artillery and cluster munitions. Confirmed manpower losses of the Russian invaders amounted to 18 killed and 7 wounded. All armored vehicles, namely 12 armored vehicles and tanks, were damaged, 7 of them completely destroyed. Militarny recently reported on the destruction of another convoy of Russian armored vehicles in the Novopavlivka sector by soldiers of the separate Presidential and 31st Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The U.S. supplied Switchblade's 600 kamikaze drones destroyed 2 Buk air defense systems and 1 Tor in the eastern sector. Another precise strike by Ukraine's 14th Separate UAV Regiment. The U.S. has supplied Ukraine with Switchblade's 600 kamikaze drones, enhancing its capability to target Russian armored vehicles and air defense systems. These drones have been effectively used to destroy high-value targets, including Russian Tor air defense systems. Spear Group from the 118th Territorial Defense Brigade destroyed a Russian BMP. The crew members that tried to hide under the BMP and later ran off were also targeted. The Ukrainian 118th Territorial Defense Brigade, based in Cherkasy Oblast, has been actively engaged in the defense against Russian aggression. Within this brigade, the Spear Group has gained recognition for its effective use of drone technology in combat operations. Notably, the Spear Group has successfully targeted and destroyed Russian armored vehicles, including BMP infantry fighting vehicles. In one instance, They eliminated a Russian BMP and targeted crew members attempting to seek cover. These actions have been instrumental in repelling Russian infantry attacks, showcasing the group's strategic importance on the battlefield. Host: does Putin want that a ceasefire? I mean, he just mobilized another 160,000 troops. U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia, Keith Kellogg: yeah, Maria, he says that, but I think both sides kind of want to figure a way out of this conflict.
But does Putin want that? I mean, he just mobilized another 160,000 troops.
Yeah, Maria, he says that, but I think both sides kind of want to figure a way out of this conflict. You know, 3 years is a long war. It's a lot longer we actually fought in World War II when you think about it. And I think both sides want to reset the relation we have with the United States. The United States is a great trump card. If you want to come back into the League of Nations, Russia, then you've got to make this deal. And the only one who can make the deal is President Trump. And the Russians have to realize that, because right now they're a pariah state. And when you look at the nations they're aligned with. And I think they want to come back into this League of Nations, and I think there's an option for them to do it. I think President Trump has shown that there's an option to do it. And so I think they're going to come back in. On negotiations, nobody's going to be happy with it initially. Neither side's going to get everything they want, like I said a minute ago. But we're going to have to bring them back into this whole environment of negotiations, talking with each other, sitting down and agreeing to what they want and what they don't want.
Do you think China is working supportively with Russia behind the scenes?
They're not supporting them, Maria, behind the scenes. They're supporting them up front, and we know that with this long-term peace process they've got going together. But that doesn't mean we can't get involved with China. We can actually put, to me, a little bit of a wedge between them, and I think we can do that. The Biden administration ignored that. President Trump is not going to ignore it. He understands the importance what China brings to the world, and understands the relationship between China and the United States, and we're going to address it.
According to Russian TV and radio host Anna Shafran, there can be no compromises. The Ukrainian people and language do not exist. I am convinced. I have both Ukrainian roots and Belarusian roots. I know for sure that they are one people. There is no separate Ukrainian language. There are dialects of the Russian language.
I know for sure that they are one people. With all respect to our Ukrainian colleagues, there is no separate Ukrainian language. There are dialects, Russian language. We can only move forward at the moment when we clarify what is happening. And the clarity is that we are one people, that we have one language, that we have one faith.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.